Checkmate Real Estate Podcast.
I think that's great though. We're on the right path, you know. And good news, got an offer on the house.
Which one? Florida.
Florida. So we had to drop the price a bit. I think it was at $585. I think we dropped it to $565 if I'm not mistaken. I think they hit us with an offer for $545, Peter said. Our realtor countered at $555. They accepted. We aren't deciding yet because we're trying to see whether, his father, who is invested with us, is going to be reinvesting. Because if he's not going to be reinvesting, then it kind of defeats the purpose to just sell the asset and not guarantee the investment back.
Yeah. So
we're weighing our odds. We've been speaking to mortgage lenders. This dude over at Quintessential Mortgage, Johnny, one of the lender, the investor.
We talked to. Okay.
He put us in contact with him, which the fund is that fund he was talking about. It's Quintessential Mortgage, and his best friend is the owner of that. And so we've been weighing our odds with like refinance options. We got, an idea of what the rates are going to be like and what we can get at. So we might take that route if we can't get the investment back from, his father, and to redistribute towards more things for us, like multifamily, because we're trying to reestablish that capital. But other than that, we got the offer in, and if we can get the money back from him, he's going to have a conversation with him tonight. If we can, then we're going to sell the property, wipe our hands clean of it, and just use the money that we'll be getting back. We're going to take a chunk from his father, take a chunk from my father, put that together so that we could all four go towards multifamily.
Absolutely.
We're trying to get like 125 apiece. So I'm trying to get 125 from my father after I give him back the money, and then we're trying to get 125 from his father. And then Harrison's aunt is, going to be hopefully investing with us shortly. Shit's just locked up with her still, and I told him to find out more information about, what's going on with that. And he's going to be reaching out to her to see if we could get money from her. But if we do sell it, within the next month or two, we should have established capital to go towards multifamily. At least some.
Okay. So the single family, the Florida one. So when did you guys buy that?
We bought it back in September.
And refinancing now.
Yeah, we're trying to refinance it now. It's late. We could have refinanced it fucking months ago if we would have had it. Not even if we would have had it operating as an Airbnb, but just if the fucking construction was done. If we didn't get screwed with that contractor that we had, if we didn't get hit with the insurance claim, because we don't need any performance right now. They're going to give us a refinance just based off of what we're projected to make.
Just like in the renovations, how much did you guys put in?
We bought it at like $429. We're all in for like $511. So It's like we had money we spent, for the renovations, for furniture, for furnishing the house and whatnot, and labor and etc. So yeah, we were in it for about $80,000-$90,000. We had some money, left over that we ended up using on carrying costs. We paid ourselves a little bit from the loan we took, like an acquisition fee.
Yeah.
So yeah, like all in like $511.
So plus 54 overall if we can get that sold, right? You're saying you're selling it for $565?
$555. So after closing costs. After closing costs, we come out of it just clean.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because there's going to be like 8% in closing. Well, 8%'s the high end. 5%'s going to the realtor.
Okay.
No attorney fees, so that saves on closing costs. But yeah, we might, Peter and I might come out of it with like a couple thousand a piece, which is good. It's it's all right for a few months.
Yeah, for what it's been,
The chaos and hecticness that it has been.
Yeah, getting that headache off your shoulders. So, I mean, that's also kind of what I wanted to speak. a topic that I was thinking about even prior to this was like, I wanted you to kind of speak a little bit too. I want to just, converse about the residential side and, the potential ups and pitfalls of that as well, whether it's the fix and flip, if you're just trying to, Airbnb or the various.
With everything that you do in the residential side, I feel like is a little bit more dangerous than the multifamily side.
Yeah.
And I only say that because the people you deal with could be a lot more shiesty, and like when you're dealing with a large construction company that's working on a multifamily property, they're pretty established, hopefully. They're a large crew, have a good name to themselves. Sometimes you get these handymen that want to work on your property that you end up trusting, like, I did with Peter. We trusted a handyman, and he ended up screwing us over. So it's like I just think the risk with the residential isn't necessarily always worth the reward because of the amount of money that only one unit, one property can bring you.
Yeah.
But, it's definitely beneficial if you have the right systems in place, which we've learned from our mistakes, and we can implement those right systems into residential and multifamily. But like the biggest pitfalls you're gonna face is just like trusting people, like finding the right contractors, finding the right realtors that aren't going to just sell you any house, that are gonna lead you in the right direction, that aren't gonna tell you that comps can sell for higher than what they really can.
Yeah.
That's where also you doing your due diligence and you knowing your things too helps, which we did. We did our due diligence, but with this, the market shifted. We bought it back in September. The market shifted a whole hell of a lot since then. Interest rates have gone up, so comps have gone down. It affects a whole bunch of different things. That's where with the residential side of things too, it's very hard because it's strictly comp based. Whereas multifamily is performance-based, and it doesn't matter what that building sold for down the block because that sold for that price based off of its income, not based off of what the next building down the on the other side of the street sold for.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge difference.
Huge.
Yeah.
And that's why we started getting into multifamily, David. That's why the four of us, all of us got into multifamily, because the risk to reward ratio isn't as much there. We still dabble in, I shouldn't say dabble, we have a whole business centered around residential. It's just we personally take the side of non-ownership.
Yeah, of not touching it. Like, one thing I've always been afraid of was fix and flip. I swear, like, that's why it's like I applaud you, man, for doing it. But it's like I've never, you watch HGTV and all that. I'm just like, I don't want to go through all that.
Yeah,
having to even deal with all those people and having to be in the house and all the months, and it's just, and still the uncertainty as well. Like, it's single family, it's still dependent upon one family moving in there sometimes. So it's like, it's, if I'm gonna do residential, I was always thinking, okay, residential multifamily where it's duplex, 3 units, 4 units.
Yeah, where you can still cash flow.
Yeah,
So it makes sense. With fix and flips, bro, it's hard. Like, you gotta find the right system to it. You got to find the right people to trust so that you could just rinse and repeat. I found people over here, in New York. I had the people that I trusted. They did my first house beautifully. Can't complain about any of the work they did. They did not burn me. They did not screw me. They honestly helped me with a lot of the prices too. And like my electrician did a lot of things out of pocket. So thank you to him and everything. But it's like, if you go to another state and you're an out-of-state investor, being here in New York and then having your property in Florida, you got to have the right management team to be able to trust them so that they are monitoring the work, which, our management company didn't really keep an eye on the work as they should have, and they didn't have the eye for the work that we have as an investor. Like, I have a certain standard, and as an individual, I have a certain standard that I like things at. They didn't meet that standard, so it's like they weren't aware, they didn't know. I can't blame them for not knowing because it's also a lack of communication on my end.
Yeah.
So, but it's, again, having the right people in place and the systems. As with anything, it needs to be a system and it needs to have the right processes, and then you could rinse and repeat,
Yeah. So definitely I would say talk to people who have done that, talk to people who are experienced in that and who have gone through that process and have gone through, the ups and downs and the pitfalls of just dealing with motherfuckers who don't want to adhere to fiduciaries. So,
no, literally.
Like that's a lot.
It's good now. All right.
And just in case I haven't said this before, this is the Checkmate Real Estate Podcast, brought to you by CGE Studios, the multimedia company that encourages you to create, entice, and live nice, and WPKN 89.5 FM radio. My name is David Smith.
This is Anthony Ramo, and my raspy ass voice.
Yes. Hey, man, you just getting over bronchitis? Everybody's been kind of sick in here, man. You just
Mr. Asia, Biz, the manager, just had his appendix taken out.
Yeah, man, I can't even imagine like that whole like appendix just bursting kind of thing.
I want to know, David, like, what's your intake on what we've been doing as a business, as a partnership, as a company? What is your intake on it? Like, how do you like it going from, media and arts and everything and creating as an artist to real estate? How do you like the transition? How do you like the implementation into your life now, and where do you see it going? And just your input in total.
Now, what I was just telling him the other day too, I see a common theme with just my life and how it's kind of going, right? No matter whether it's my personal job, whether it's the multimedia business, and even on this side as well, the biggest thing that I see my high creator telling me that I need to continuously develop and grow as I just continue my careers, sales. Sales is the one word, is the main word, is the key word. In every industry you think of, sales is the key.
Yeah.
If you can't sell it, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? You need to get out. You need to just get out of business.
Yeah.
So everybody needs to learn sales, understand sales, and the psychology and just mentality that goes with it, And so me dealing with all of that, and I was just realizing, like, I kind of love that. Like, I want to embrace that, Like, I love the challenge of, okay, this is something new. This is something that I really want to pursue. I see the tangibility. I see the profitability. Doesn't matter necessarily what the market's doing. I'm sorry, watch the market, watch interest rates. But, if you are gung-ho and truly like immersed in this business, immersed in this world, you will figure out ways and find ways, and you'll make money in a recession. You'll make money in a pandemic.
Yeah.
You'll make money however sees fit, because when everybody else is thinking there isn't any money, there's the people who have done their education and have done the research and development, have put in their due diligence and their time and effort and get shit done.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of person I want to be. That's the kind of person I want to be within this company. So just the challenge of that shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, just a whole new realm of life and being able to say, okay, how are you going to handle it? And this is kind of it's kind of awesome, because like I said, you're learning new things, and once you know, who can unteach you? You know what I'm saying?
Knowledge is the power, and the implementation of it is even greater.
Brother, what? Oh my Lord. For real, for real.
I love that you've welcomed it so openly too. You faced everything that we've done with open ears, open arms, taken criticism well, learned, and at a very quick speed too. And I think it's great that we are able to really put our time and effort and energy into this as a group, because, like you said, it's tangible. It's more than tangible. I mean, with the right people around, it's inevitable. Mm-hmm. And that's where me doing it now for 2 years, a year now, whatever you really want to consider it, me actively investing, I've seen the more I immerse myself and the more people I put myself around doing it, and the more active that I'm doing it, the more tangible it becomes.
Yes, the more real it is.
Yeah.
The more, absolutely.
Like, I was thinking about it on the car ride up here. I was thanking God. I was like, thank you, because I know 3 years ago I was not in this position. I know 2 years ago I was not in this position. I know even last summer I was not in as well of a position as I am. So I can only imagine what another year from now and another year and another year and another year is going to keep doing.
Absolutely.
You know, as long as I keep actively working towards it and consistently working on it, there's nothing that can stop us.
And that's the beauty, because I look back a year ago when we just met at that first multifamily conference, and it's like if you asked me about sub-2, creative finance, executory contracts, and performance deeds, I'm looking at you like, bro, what planet are you from? I'm like, nah, bro, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what you're talking about, sir. You know? So to be able to like just immerse in this new realm and just embrace it, like that's the key. It's like, yo, get it out of your comfort zone, man. Like, I think too many people are just trying to stay in their own niche. Like, my niche has been music all my life, and I love music, and there's nothing wrong with expanding from it.
Exactly.
You know, you can always continue to do it, and that's also word to any musicians out here who are just looking to side hustle and then diversify their portfolio and invest as well in real estate. Hey, man, keep the dreams going.
Yeah,
keep the music going. You know, in order to even really fund the music, you got to be able to have something real, tangible, and passive.
Yeah.
And I say real estate is the best way to do so, personally. So just from my standpoint, that's what I would say. Just continue pursuing your dreams. Real estate can accentuate. It could just, you know.
Just heightens
yeah, exactly. Uplift all your dreams and goals and other aspirations as well. So that's how I see it, man.
I mean, I hope you actively do see that, because it's like, I know seeing that your progression, like I said, you've learned so quick, and seeing everything that you've done, you know, I see how it has benefited you, and how ultimately the change in mindset from, you know, from where you first started and the change in mindset to where you are now has not only helped in real estate, but helped you with CGE.
Yeah.
You've made a lot of tough decisions over the past couple of months. Like, you got rid of your office. Like, it happens for a reason, though a change and though a different, you know, thing, you did it for the betterment of yourself. You did it for the betterment of what you are, what you and CGE are doing, you know? So it's like, I feel like if I would have proposed to a year ago, get rid of the office, it would have been like, hell no. You know?
I looked at you crazy.
So
even with with whatever's going on, yeah, I still probably would have looked at you crazy.
Exactly. So it's like, you know, I think it's good, because not just with money too, real estate really puts you into a different mindset. A lot of fields of entrepreneurship will do this to you, but real estate, I've seen benefit me in my mindset, benefit you in your mindset, Harrison, Peter, all of them, and everybody that real estate has engulfed in my life. I've seen it better their mindset and better their outlook on things, better their perception of things, you know, and where things can be and what things can do.
Because you don't realize how many options you truly have until you explore them.
Yeah, it's true.
There's so many options, man. And there's so many different ways you can go about it. And you don't have to lift a hammer, you know what I'm saying, nail anything down. You don't have to, you know, do a lot of things. You don't have to be a landlord. You know, there's different ways you can invest and get into this world. So it's just finding your niche, finding what you like, whatever you like and whatever you want to do, you know.
The due on sale clause is in every contract. You go to sign a contract to buy a property, you take a mortgage out on that property. The bank has in that mortgage a due on sale clause. So like David was saying, when you go to sell that property, usually that due on sale clause is triggered, meaning that you have to come up with the remainder balance of that mortgage. In order to avoid that, you're going to use the executory contract, which basically states that you're not recording it. You're taking on this title, you're taking on this deed, and you're taking on responsibility of this property in that contract, but then you don't record it with the servicing company. Or with the title company, I should say. That doesn't trigger the due on sale clause. Now, to go back to what was it again? The other one?
Performance deed.
The performance deed. Yeah. That has to do with if a seller is scared that you're not going to make your payment. If, say, for 30 days you make your payment, but on the 31st day you default, And that's their concern. That's what they're worried about. They're worried about you not making your payment to the bank. They don't want to foreclose on you. They don't want to go through that whole 6-month process of having to deal with the foreclosure process. Basically, with that.
So yeah, you would draft the performance deed.
Draft the performance deed, and then you would have that in place, stating that, all right, if we fall behind on payments, if we default on payments, it's all yours again.
Yeah, back to you.
It's all back to you. We lose all ownership, all responsibility. It is all your property again. So you can recover that payment as quickly as possible. But yeah, that's to explain those two. Those, I mean, I feel like are very safe. They keep you very safe as a seller. They keep you very safe as a buyer too. Gives you a nice protection for the seller, knowing like, you're not going to screw them over.
Yeah, because would you say that's the biggest thing that like sellers have been like objecting to with when it comes to presenting certain deals, certain sub-2 deals?
Absolutely. A lot of objections that we faced in the reach out that we've been doing, in the text blast and then presenting of offers for sub-2 offers, they've been objecting because they're scared that, we won't be able to make the payment. They don't want the title and deed being transferred over to someone else and the mortgage staying in their name, but then we default on the payment, So like, I wouldn't feel safe as a seller. I can't trust you up out of Adam. You called me a week ago. I spoke to you for 2 weeks. Yeah. You want to buy my house and you want me to guarantee that my payment's going to be made? I wouldn't trust it. But this is where it's like building rapport, getting to know the seller, them getting to know you. And then on top of that, having those things in place as extra safety nets for them so that they feel more confident to go through with the deal.
Absolutely. Yeah. And just letting them know like all the different ways in which they are protected.
Exactly.
Like, and just having that education, because that's part of the learning curve here. You want to go at it. You want to cold call fast. You want to, text blast and get seller leads in order. Just the only problem is that there's plenty different ways to actually handle it. And you could be losing out on a lot of potential deals and just fucking things over with these sellers if you're not presenting the right deals and presenting them in the correct manner with the right verbiage saying, hey, we will implement a performance deed so you can feel safe and protected upon 30 days, 31, we default. It's all back to you. It's all stated right here, So, and just giving them all of that necessary protection, that's the learning curve right there. That's, I feel like that's been the biggest thing, like even with us doing it the last few months, like between the cold call, and we saw like, yeah, it's working, it's effective, but the text blast was way more effective, you know? And even within the text blast, a lot of it's still effective, but even with certain templates and certain speaking and verbiage and just being able to close on certain deals with guys, it's difficult. Yeah. It's still difficult because you have every different deal, it adheres to different circumstances, and you have to try to figure out, okay, what's the best route for this one? Are we going to just straight up wholesale with a cash buyer? Are we going to seller finance, do terms? Are we just going to take on a mortgage? I mean, so
there's so many different options.
Yeah,
and you got to find their pain point. That's like one thing, is finding their pain point and then establishing what route is best for them. I like how Asia was telling though, where we lay out each option.
Yeah, that makes the most sense. Absolutely. And even doing it like that, I'd say like just he gives everybody, okay, what do you want?
Yeah. I could give you these three. Pick your best one.
Good, better, best. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you like really just tailor that to what you what the benefits the company the most, right? 2, the next step to it is what benefits the customer the most type shit, you know what I'm saying? So you set it up as good, better, best. Or in your mind. It doesn't have to be labeled as such, but and you within your presentation you can use certain verbiage, or you can use certain voice inflection to make it seem like this is the best option. This is the, you know what I'm saying? Like, saying this is what you want to do because there's XYZ benefits to this and blah blah. You know what I'm saying? So that like it's all within how you pitch it, and it's all within having those options slated. You know what I'm saying, and not giving people too many. 3 options is perfect. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And
Cash, seller finance, sub 2.
And at the end of the day, all of them should make sense to you. Because if they don't make sense to you, and if the numbers don't make sense, then why are you presenting them? You know, why are you even pursuing the deal? So
Yeah.
that's why, good, better, best is like they're all great. You know, these are just different ways in which we can get what you want and I want done. You could do it in terms. You could stretch it out, get a balloon payment after 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Okay, you can get a cash buyer, get it done immediately. All right.
One thing Jose was telling me is that it's a lot about how we underwrite the deal. So like, because obviously there's multiple ways we can underwrite it. So that comes into the different options that we have, whether it be cash, underwrite it like a cash deal, underwrite it like a seller finance, or underwrite it like a sub 2.
Boom.
So it's like the way we underwrite the deal is going to matter, and then how we pitch that deal is going to be the closing statement, you know, where we seal it all. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot, audience and everybody, a lot of what we got to do now is like our main problem at first was marketing, you know, getting in front of leads and getting the leads flowing. Now that is not the problem. We're reaching enough people, more than enough people. The biggest hurdle we're facing at the moment, in full transparency with all of you, is that it's the sales process. And that's why we have our friend Asia here and our other friend Jose, who's an active wholesaler out of Connecticut, closes a lot of deals. They'll be helping us with our sales process so that over the next couple months, our system really becomes down packed, you know, and there's no reason why a deal should really slip through the cracks then.
Absolutely. You know, because if it does slip through the cracks, then it's just like, hey, we are not the buyer for you. You know, it's the deal doesn't make sense for us. That's the only way it's really slipping through the cracks. If it makes sense for us, we're getting it, and we're getting it closed and done. You know, and it's just continuously through the education, the due diligence. You have to do the process. You got to master the process. You got to do the shit. That's the only thing, man. You know, because even when coming in here, I didn't know everything towards what the process was. I just know I wanted, you know, money through real estate, but it got to be deeper than that too. You know, it can't be just money through real estate. It has to be truly immersing yourself in the process.
Learning and loving the journey.
Yeah, man. You know
can't just be about the money.
No, especially because, you know, like we said before, with multifamily, you saving lives. You know what I'm saying? You're helping people. You're improving upon their homes and the way they live. When it comes to when we're even doing with the wholesale sub 2 seller finance, you are still primarily helping motivated sellers. These are not people that were, oh my God, trying to scheme and scam and fish after. No, these are very motivated people who are usually in a lot of trouble, you know, and have a lot of debt on their heads, and they need someone like us to be just, you know, floating around, and, you know, it's like, oh my God.
Providing them with a solution.
Exactly. It's like a damn guardian angel, you know. It's a beautiful thing. So
Truthfully.
It's also about the purpose too and what you're doing. You know, we serve the people, and that's the mission statement over at CG Studios. And I see the same for Chess as well. Like, we serve the people. At the end of the day, it's way bigger than the money. It's truly, you know, changing lives.
Yeah, truthfully.
And improving upon the way people live.
It's going to be great, bro.
It's great now. It's not going to be great. It's great now, people.
We're blessed and highly favored, bro.
Yes, sir.
We're blessed and highly favored.
This is the Checkmate Real Estate Podcast, brought to you by CG Studios, the multimedia company that encourages you to create, entice, live nice, and WPKN 89.5 FM. My name is David Smith.
And I'm Anthony Ramo.
Yes, sir. And this is
Mr. Biz the Manager.
There we go. And we're out. Good night.